how to use Creative Ground as a performing artist. You probably know this already, but we are doing Creative Ground webinars each month with a different topic, almost always on Tuesday. We shifted to Wednesday for Idea Swap in November. You guys will learn more about Idea Swap. And just want to welcome you. I'm Dee Schneidman. I'm the research manager at NEFA. I am joined today by Daniela Jacobson.
Hello.
Who is the coordinator for presenting and touring programs at NEFA. She's also our accessibility coordinator and frankly does a lot of great things here at the organization and is always available for questions by email and phone. So you'll hear from her in a bit. I'm going to kind of orient everybody to the webinar and tell you what our agenda is for the next roughly 45 minutes. Again, thank you for being here. Just in case you have not used GoToMeeting before, you should have a little dashboard from GoToMeeting in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And behind that, hopefully you can see the Creative Ground screen. And you can see my cursor moving around right now, but you can see the Creative Ground homepage. And throughout the webinar, if you have questions for NEFA, please go down to the little chat menu in your GoToMeeting dashboard. It might be collapsed, so you might have to expand it by clicking on the arrow to the left of the word chat. And then you can type your question in your chat box and then click send. You can click the drop-down arrow next to where it says to specify if you want to send it just to the NEFA organizer or if you want to send it to everyone. Any other questions that come up if you're having trouble with, as I mentioned, kind of the video or the audio portion of the webinar, please email creativeground@nefa.org and we will make sure and get you situated, assisted. We will leave time at the end of the presentation part for questions, so be thinking of those as you go. Let's see, I don't think anything else about GoToMeeting. So as I mentioned, this is one of our Creative Ground webinars. Creative Ground is NEFA's free online directory for the cultural nonprofits, creative businesses, and artists of the 6 New England states. Today we are going to focus on how performing artists can use Creative Ground directory as a search and promotional tool and how organizations can find performing artists using Creative Ground. We're going to demonstrate how to do search and explore within the site to find presenting organizations and performing artists. And we're also going to show how to set up and update your own Creative Ground profile so that you kind of represent yourself and your work best on Creative Ground. We're going to touch on NEFA's New England States Touring or NEST program, which is directly related to Creative Ground. And then we'll take some questions and conclude with some tips on how to use Creative Ground to your best advantage. And you may notice, I'll just reinforce that everyone should be muted, although I heard that maybe a canine friend has joined us, and they are welcome. But so you should be muted. Everyone should be muted except me, as I said. If you're having any challenges, go ahead and post to the chat box or email to creativeground@nefa.org. So as you probably all know, you are looking at the Creative Ground homepage right now on our screen. Creative Ground is a free directory for the different creative entities that I mentioned within the 6 New England states. There are over 30,000 profiles in New England, artists of all kinds, everything from dancers to designers and architects, creative businesses like recording studios, and nonprofits like libraries, museums, galleries, art centers, of course, There's a wide range, and we want to make sure that the different pieces of the creative economy of New England are well represented and really highlighted. We are the only region in the U.S. with a directory like Creative Ground. We are proud that we continue to offer it for free to New England, and we hope we can help you take advantage of this service. Of course, NEFA offers Creative Ground in partnership with the National Endowment for the Arts and the 6 state arts agencies of New England. So if you have questions after today or any that we can't get to today, please do contact us at NEFA through creativeground@nefa.org, and you can also contact your state arts agency for your state as well. They are happy to hear from you about Creative Ground as a service and the New England States Touring Program that we're going to talk about in a bit. Now, some of you might be familiar with Creative Ground because you were listed on one of our former directories, matchbook.org or Culture Count. So we're going to go through some of the steps that you would take to find, to search to see whether you already have a profile in Creative Ground and to create a new user account and update it. So I think Danielle is going to start us off with getting some searching going.
There are 2 ways to get to the search. One is on the home page, and the other is right up top. If you click search, that'll take you to the main search page. And at the very top, you can see general instructions. Overall, we recommend using a search term that's inclusive. For example, if you're interested in puppetry, you may want to enter the word puppet instead of puppetry. That way it won't limit any options for you. And just to give you an example, let's say I'm an arts programmer that has world music programs in New Hampshire, and I'd like to search for local world music artists to participate in my program. I am going to scroll down and enter world music in the keyword field. I am going to check artist for profile type, and here in the state options, I'm going to select New Hampshire, and I'll hit search. What you'll see are your search results page. You can see an icon key. Those pertain to the profile types. It gives me a map of all these pins to the profiles. And scrolling down, you'll see the visual profiles with thumbnail images, the profile name, primary discipline, business type, and a little description. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom of your results, you'll see the total number of profiles, and the list will show 10, but you can expand it to 25 or 50. So if you have a big list like this, you can always scroll up top. You can refine your search criteria. You can also click on enhanced options where you can see more search filters if you want to drill down further. Maybe you want to look for a group that works with a specific population, for example, with elders. And then you'll just select your options and hit search from there. Switching gears, I want to show you how someone might search for a performing artist in a specific discipline using these enhanced search options. So I'm going to clear my results. Give me 1 second. You go all the way to the bottom and you hit reset if you want to start from scratch all over again. For this illustration, let's say I'm a Vermont-based organization and I offer dance classes and I want to look for a local modern dance and teaching artist from my state. I'm going to check off Vermont, and then in enhanced options, I'm going to look for, in the primary discipline, dance, modern, contemporary. And then scrolling down, there's a cool option that will target, pull teaching artist profiles. So I'll check that off. And then I'll hit search. And voila, I have a culled list of artist profiles that meet my search criteria. There are 5 here. So I'm going to click on Lyda Winfield. She's from Burlington. It looks like, based on her description, she's arts education focused. So I can explore more about Lyda by clicking here to expand on her summary. Over to the left is a gallery of images. And over to the right is her basic contact information. And there's a link to her website and Facebook here. And just scrolling down further, looks like she has a work sample and other website links here. Scrolling down further, the About section gives me more information about her, which is helpful, including a range of activities and services, all of the disciplines in which she practices, the population she works with, and to the left is the I Have Worked With section, which gives me links to organizations that are listed in Creative Ground, as well as organizations that may not be in the directory. They might be outside of New England. But in each of these projects, she's given me a little background about each and the time frame. And she has worked with a lot of different partners, so it's a nice snapshot just to see the breadth of her work as a touring artist and an arts educator. Further down in her profile, I can get more information about her credentials, and I know she's a touring artist, and she has even provided her fee range here in the touring artist section, along with technical requirements. It looks like she's NEST eligible. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. And then, of course, some more teaching artist information, which is what I'm looking for. So I also just want to switch gears and start from scratch all over again for the search, because I want to show you all how you can find nonprofit presenting organizations. I get this question a lot. I work with a lot of performing artists in New England, and I want to show you some good ways to search for presenters. As you may already know, presenters are nonprofit organizations that book and hire performing artists for their arts programs. They represent a variety of organization types of all shapes and sizes, large institutions like museums and universities to smaller organizations like public schools and community arts centers. So I'm going to review just a few different ways to search for presenters. The most effective way is actually using enhanced options. So going through step by step, I'm going to select in the institution business type category a few different options. I'm going to click on Art Centers, Cultural Series Organizations, Fairs and Festivals, and scrolling down a little bit more, I'm going to also select Performance Facilities and Presenting Series Organizations. To the right, under Activities and Services, I'm also going to look for concert. I want to find organizations that provide concerts. So I'm going to run this search. I'll click Search at the bottom. And in my search results page, I have a nice range of organizations across New England. And you'll see I have 111 profiles. And in order to focus, I'm going to select Maine. I just want to see the organizations in Maine. So I'll go down and I'll click search. And you'll see I'll get a list of just the main presenters. So again, you may need to filter a little bit more based on what you're looking for, but this is a good start. And I just want to show you an example of a presenter's profile. We'll select Waterville Opera House Association. So looking at their profile, it looks very similar to LIDA's artist profile. The profiles have the same form to work off of, so there won't be any surprises. But of course, here on this profile, you can get a sense of their space, of the organizations they work with. Looks like they're very local. And they show you all the disciplines they support, all the services. And scrolling down, you can see they have a section about their venues, which is available for rent, which may be useful for artists to know what amenities and features they have. I want to show you a second way we can search for presenters. Again, there are many different ways, but if you go back to the main search page, we can look for cultural nonprofit profiles. And in enhanced options, we can look for NEFA grant recipients. That's a great way to look for organizations, nonprofit organizations that support performing artists in New England. So I'll hit search. And again, I'll just show you the list of results. These are all NEFA grant recipients. Some may include performing groups, but you can get to the institution business type from the profiles. And looks like we have 44 profiles. So this is just another option for you for looking for presenters. A third and final way I'll just share is to look for an enhanced options. You can look for all presenting organizations that are members of the presenter consortia, the New England Presenters and the Arts Presenters of Northern New England. They are two groups with affiliated presenting organizations, and we encourage all of the members to get listed on Creative Ground and to indicate that they're consortium members. So if you're an artist, you can connect with these presenters by filtering that way in enhanced options. But moving on, and before we move on, actually, I just want to reiterate again that the search is going to pull in profiles that match your search criteria. So it's really crucial to flesh out your profile as much as possible so that others can find you in the directory. Based on that, I'm going to now talk about and demonstrate how to log into Creative Ground and update or create a profile. And the first step is to search for your profile. You may already be listed. I'm going to look up a sample profile. It's a mock-up. But if you would see, I entered my profile name, or the name that I think my artist ensemble is listed as. And lo and behold, I have found my own profile I'm going to click on it. And if you know you haven't logged into Creative Ground since we've launched and you want to manage the profile, you can scroll down and click Request Management of this profile. You'll follow those steps. We'll email you. We'll give you access to that account. That's a good first step. But for me, I'm going to log into my personal account, which you can access at the very top of the site in the login. And I can enter my email. You'll use your email address associated with Matchbook if you're on Matchbook. You'll use your email, plug in your password here, or if you can't remember, you'll request a new password and the Creative Ground team will send you a link to reset that for your account. If you have never logged into Creative Ground ever before, you can proceed and create an account and fill out all of these fields you'll see over to the right in order to get in. So for demonstration, I'm just going to log in to my account, and it takes me to my account page. Scrolling down in the public profiles list are a few profiles I managed, and in order to edit them, I'm just going to click on Edit Profile, and that link to the right. So in front of you, you can see the edit form, and this is the place where editing begins. We have a lot of instructional text at the very top, and in general, follow any of these if you need any assistance or guidance, but it will require you to complete required fields in profile for you to save any changes. So in general, work your way from the top to the bottom of the profile and just make sure you're filling in information in any fields with an marked by an asterisk. So right here you'll see the field for the profile name. That's what you'll see in the search results page. You'll select your profile type. Most of you will select artist in most cases, but you can click this link here for additional guidance. It's really important to upload a profile image. This is the thumbnail that you see in the results page. For artists, I highly recommend choosing a performance image. This helps give people context. So if you're an actor, you may want to consider a performance shot instead of a headshot. Again, relevance is key when people are scrolling through profiles. You'll want to enter your contact information. That will be visible on your public profile. You want to include your website and your Facebook link and your Twitter username if that is available. You should plug in your internal contact information. That's only if NIFA needs to contact you for anything. You'll complete your address information. Your physical address is public. The profile will show your city, state, and zip code. You can hide your mailing address. You can choose to keep that hidden from view for confidential purposes. Scrolling down, you'll see in the About section that the description of work and background is a text box, and this is where you can enter a summary of your work. These are the summaries found in the search results page. So it's really important to include important keywords for the directory to work to your best advantage. Scrolling down, for the legal status field, the most common fields that artists should select is commercial business sole proprietorship for individual artists. If you're part of a larger group, ensemble, the nonprofit or other commercial options might apply to you. You can see all the options here, but if you need guidance on which to choose, you can click this link below the field. Scrolling down a bit more, the institution business type that you should select is either an individual artist, or if you're part of a group, you'll want to select performing group. And in the primary discipline, you can only choose one, but there are many options here for you to choose from. And if you don't see one, let us know, and we're constantly adding more options. If we receive requests, we're happy to consider adding that for you. But you can also add additional descriptions here. You can just simply drag them over by pressing the plus and minus signs. And below, you can add your activities and services. No, it's not required, but it's very helpful, especially when people are running searches. You can list the seasons that you're active and working, the events you have per year, the populations you serve, languages in which you work with, and then your geographic reach as well. So all of the fields marked with asterisks in the section I've just reviewed are required for you to save. If you're just getting started, you're starting a profile from scratch, complete this part first. You'll go all the way down. You have to agree to the terms of service and privacy policy in order to save. But once that is all taken care of, you can come back to your profile and make updates later on. You can complete the image and video gallery. You can upload up to 10 photos and videos here. In the URL collection, you can post blogs or other links to your Instagram or your YouTube page. Any website link you can post in there. In the I have worked with section, that's where you can list all of the partners that you've worked with or individuals. You can actually search for different profiles that are listed in Creative Ground here, and it'll pull a search. So it found Capital Center for the Arts. If the individual organization is not in Creative Ground or in New England, you can just plug it in here in the alternate name. And for touring artists, it's really helpful to just list all of your gigs that you want to highlight. It's helpful for presenters to kind of know the background of your work with a short summary. I'm just going to scroll down past this section.
We call this section your top 25 because you can put in 25 relationships. So we encourage you to come back and curate this list of your top 25 as you get new gigs, as you have exciting partnerships. Try to keep that list of your top 25 current, and a good way to refresh your profile so that people know that you're still working and available.
Exactly. Thank you. In the affiliations and accomplishments, you can indicate whether you are a NEFA grant recipient, or you can also select if you're on the State Arts Agency roster. These are great options if those apply to you. You can include any awards you've received or your education credentials. Below that, in the accessibility of services, you can describe any programs or services you have for people with disabilities. It's a very helpful feature. And most importantly, I want to draw your attention to the Touring Artist Information section, which is for specifically artists who are touring and performing for live audiences in different communities and are being hired by organizations. You definitely want to complete all of the fields here. You want to list your state of residence, technical requirements, the number of performers in your group, in your entity, and your fee range minimum and maximum amount. These are all required fields in order for you to be considered to participate in the NEST program. NEST, as some of you might be aware, is a grant program that supports New England performers to perform in communities outside of their state and the region. Presenters can apply for a NEST grant to cover a portion of the artist fee. It's up to 50%, and you can find out more information about the application process on our website, but your role as the artist is to complete certain required fields as part of our NEST artist requirements, and you can see that link right here. And we also have a video tutorial with step-by-step instructions if you need further help. And again, visit our website for more details about that. But you want to check this I wish to be considered for NEST eligibility box if you have completed those required fields and want to participate. Again, once you're approved, NEFA will receive your request, will review your profile, and when you're approved, you will become NEST eligible, and that will be indicated on your profile. And of course, people can search for you in enhanced options. They can search for NEST eligible artists. And then just to quickly touch base on these other fields that might apply, you can indicate whether you're a Native American artist. And if you're a teaching artist, you can complete all the fields here, if applicable, and you can enter fee range, minimum, maximum, and your curriculum and the grade levels that you serve. So I know that's a lot of information, and before we wrap up, I do want to show a different way to explore the site. You may have noticed the Explore button right here. The Explore is a useful way to browse through all of the profiles in the directory. Explore is different than search. If you do not have a specific thing you're looking for, the Explore feature is really meant for browsing. And to illustrate this, you'll see on the Explore page, you'll see actual numbers of profiles. Here, and just following my mouse, you can see the profiles by state. So I'm just going to click on Massachusetts. I'll hit Apply. And you'll see that there are over 11,000 profiles in Massachusetts. You can actually see how many profiles there are by city and by all of the other criteria filters. It's a great way to find profile data by type, and for fun, try looking up your own town and city to see who's listed in your community. And I'd like to just conclude by sharing other helpful resources you can find on Creative Ground. Be sure to visit the About page. There is a link specifically for performing artists. If you scroll down, you'll find a performing artist link. And this has helpful tips and tricks for you. There's a lot of information, again, there's a video for NEST eligibility requirements. And I definitely want to share that some artists do use Creative Ground as their website. You can also link to your own profile on your email signature and business card and on your website. And it's definitely beneficial. Again, Creative Ground is free for you to use. This is a great benefit. NEFA is also happy to feature profiles. So if you're interested, after you have taken some time to update a profile, create one, definitely let us know if you would like to be featured on our homepage. We do rotate different profiles frequently, so please get in touch about that. Back onto the homepage, you'll see the Get Involved link up top with a lot of different information on how you can connect Creative Ground with your community. The NEFA team is happy to travel to your community to give a demonstration about Creative Ground and to help people use it. And we have listed here a lot of different links on how different creative sectors can use the site. And as Dee mentioned, this is part of a longer series of webinars, and the next webinar is September 8th for visual artists. But this webinar is being recorded and will be available in a few weeks' time. And I do want to let you know that there will be a blog on the NEFA website with all of these tips for performing artists today, so watch out for that. But if you need any technical assistance, you can contact and email creativeground@nefa.org, and I'm also happy to help you if you have questions setting up your profile, whether it's for Nest eligibility or otherwise. You can contact me at djacobson@nefa.org, or my phone number is 617-951-0010, extension 528. You can find the NEFA phone number on our website, and again, my extension is 528. But I would like to leave a few minutes for questions, and feel free to post any of your questions in the chat box. Okay, I got a question. If there is a simple way to send information to sponsoring venues, and yes, you can definitely share any information about Creative Ground or Nest. If there's a specific piece of information you'd like, I'm happy to connect with you after.
Daniela, maybe it would be useful to show people that their URL for their profile is custom and has their name in it, and that can be very easy to send to people. So yeah, so if Daniela clicks on that Waterville Opera House profile, you can see that the URL at the top of the page says creativeground.org/profile/Waterville Opera House Association. And what Creative Ground does is just takes your profile name and puts it as the URL. So it's kind of why people have been using their Creative Ground profile as a website, as Daniela had mentioned, because you can send someone that link that has your profile name in it, and to a potential partner or a presenter, and you can, then they can click on the link and see your profile right away. We also encourage you to download the Creative Ground logo, which is on the Get Involved page, if you want to put that on a postcard or a flyer or on your own website, just to direct people to your Creative Ground profile.
Great. And I got a question clarified. So Joe's wondering if you can contact venues through Creative Ground, and the answer is yes. So just looking on the screen at the Waterville Opera House profile, you can find a little envelope icon under Find Me. And if you click that, that will allow you to contact the profile owner. And they'll receive your message through their email. But you can also try emailing the contact listed in the contact information section as well. I hope that answers your question.
Great. Okay. Phone number. Great. I think we are somewhat out of time, but we probably have, because you guys were so patient and waited for us, we had to kind of get back on after our fun technical glitch that we had earlier. if there are, I was actually thinking maybe just show on Explore how easy it is to search venues. Thank you, Stuart. You are reading my mind. So venues are actually very easy to search. There are all the different ways that Daniela showed to search organizations that present or might be hiring artists. But if you're looking for venues specifically, and by venue we mean space. As you can see, Daniela clicked on the Explore page, and then it's just, it's not going to choose a geographical parameter. She's just going to click on any of the 573 profiles that say they have venues for rent. And you can go ahead and click on that. And this is just an Explorer. This is, as we're kind of browsing around venues and the different venue features. So this you can see the wide range of venues. But actually from the search page, Danielle, if you go to the search page, you can see that there are actually a couple of more criteria related to venues in the enhanced options that you can use to search. They're kind of all the way on the bottom there. There are a lot of different fields on the profiles, and part of the reason why we ask you to kind of describe your work and the work of your organization in small bite-sized pieces as opposed to just uploading your resume as an example is because we want people to be able to search by those different pieces. So if you're looking for a recording studio or a venue that has a Marley floor as an example, you can search for a particular venue feature, or in the search here you can get a lot more specific. So that's, I think, a good kind of quick tip to end on.
Yeah.
Right? We're pretty good on questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and for bearing with us through our technical fun. We're going to investigate what happened, of course. You'll receive a follow-up email from Creative Ground, with some links to some of the tips that Daniela mentioned, specifically that video and the link on NEFA's website about the NEST grant program. But as always, we're very open to your questions and feedback, and we want to thank you again for being here today. You can always email creativeground@nefa.org or look for any of the NEFA staff on nefa.org for the relevant programs if you have grant questions. So we're going to close out, and we'll say hope to see you soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.